Hey y'all, it's Brady. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so glad to have you here. If you are new here, we are a family of 4 plus a crazy dog. So does my husband, myself, our 5, almost 6-year-old, and our 2.5-year-old. Life is crazy busy. I'm in school, back in college as a mama, so that's fun. And my husband works crazy hours. Our oldest started kindergarten this year, and the dog is just her crazy self. So life is fun. I share lots on my channel about grocery hauls, feeding our family, day in the life videos of being a student, meal planning, recipe videos, all that fun stuff. But I also every now and then like to post things that are just about my experiences, or tips and tricks I might have for someone in something that I've gone through. And so this video is in that category. Today's video is a collab with my friend Alia from Momma Alia. I'll link her channel and her video up above and down below for you in the description box. And we are both going to share with you 5 things about having a C-section, either things that we wish we knew, or tips and tricks, or things that we experienced. So if you are coming from Alia's channel over here, hi and welcome. I'm Brady. I'm so glad to have you here. Let me know down in the comments if you are from Alia's channel. I'd love to get to know you and welcome you here. I know that you got 5 great things about C-sections from Alia, and so I hope that I can share 5 with you too, and that you'll stick around. If you are interested, hit that subscribe button, the like button, y'all know the drill. So let's just jump into it. So you can see I'm just on my couch, just sitting here. I just thought I would make this video really casual and just sit with y'all, share as if I was sharing with one of my girlfriends. 5 things that I went through or that I experienced after having a C-section or during having a C-section. And yeah, just things that I wish that I could share with everyone that is going to have a C-section, whether it is planned or you find out the day before or the day of and you're like furiously searching, for what to expect. So let's jump into it. I've kind of made 5 areas of things that I experienced, something that I think most of us do, and some of my tips and tricks to handle that. So I hope these are helpful for you. The first one that I experienced was a lot of anxiety. And so I'll kind of tell you real quick that my first C-section, I've had 2. My first C-section, we found out about 4 days before we had the C-section with her that she was frank breech and turning wasn't working. And so we scheduled a C-section. At least for my brain, I felt like if I could schedule it instead of going into labor and then the craziness of not knowing what's going to happen and then having the C-section, I just felt like if I can this was just my type A personality, but I felt like if I could control things enough that it would be a better experience than it being chaotic. So that was my thought process. Our second C-section, she was a repeat C-section. Somewhat our choice, but yeah. So both of them were planned, and I knew going into it that we were having a C-section. If you see me looking down, sorry about that. I've got my notes down there so I don't get too sidetracked. But yeah, so anxiety was something that I definitely experienced before, during, and after. So anxiety before, I didn't know what to expect, especially the first time. And then anxiety before the second time, I was like, oh, I know what to expect. I don't know if this is better. And I kind of thought, I remember when I got pregnant with her, with our second daughter, I thought, well, you know what? It'll be better because I know what to expect and I know what's going to happen. I don't know, something about that. Then it's like the week of it set in that I'm like, I know what's going to happen. And so, do your research is my number 1 tip. Research until you find the answers that you're looking for, that you feel comfortable with what's going to happen the day of and the day after and all of that. Ask lots of questions. Make lots of lists. If you are a type A person and you make lists like crazy, like I do, make all the lists. I don't care if you make the same list 32 times. If that calms you, do it. During the C-section, I definitely also experienced anxiety. There's just a lot going on. And I felt like no matter how many questions I asked there's just something about walking or being wheeled into a cold ER or OR that you're just like, ugh, okay. It's just an unsettling, kind of awkward time and feeling. And so there was just a lot of anxiety during that. And I will say that my anesthesiologist, both times were great. And the nurses were wonderful at especially the first time, kind of talking me through, oh, you're having a girl. What, do y'all have a name? And all this stuff while they're prepping me and getting my spinal and all of these things to kind of keep me calm. But yeah, so that was something that I experienced. Also, anxiety after. So it's hard because I love being around my family and friends, but at the same time, like, everyone kind of on top of me really stressed me out and made me feel overwhelmed. So just understand that and know that it's okay to be like, hey, I need y'all to go. We're going to have some time without visitors. We love you, but see you later. Because you've got to have your time to kind of deal with what's going on and process your emotions. And don't think that there's anything wrong with you because you feel that way. And so the second time we actually just said, hey, we'd rather not have any visitors until, a few hours after she's born, and we'll let everybody know that she's here and everybody's good, and then, that sort of thing. And so that helped too. Our nurse was great because she was even like, I don't care if you use me as an excuse. I'll tell them they can't come in here, whatever it takes for you. So just be confident in that and do your best to prepare in any way that makes you feel better. So if it's for you making 1,000 freezer meals, if it's doing a big stock up grocery haul, or if it's kind of just not thinking about it, whatever helps you, do that. And don't feel like you're stressed out or don't feel like you're strange because you've got anxiety over this whole process. Even those of us who have had multiple C-sections, we get anxious the same day, the week before, the week after. It's normal, and just know that you're not alone in that. Number 2, something I experienced, and I don't know why it surprised me the first time, but it did, was nausea. So I had other surgeries and didn't have any side effects of nausea other than being a little weepy and emotional, but I definitely get nauseous with both of my C-sections. I definitely got nauseous. I got nauseous before because you're on an empty stomach, and then they pump you full of antibiotics for 2 hours, or at least my hospital does. And so me on antibiotics, I'm nauseous anyways. Me on an empty stomach for too long, I'm nauseous anyways. Me when I'm nervous, I'm nauseous anyways. So why the nausea surprised me, I don't really know. But by the second one, I walked in and I was like, hey, I get nauseous at the drop of a hat. Can we just go ahead and start something now? And they did. They put it in my IV, and it wasn't perfect, but it helped. For some people, it doesn't help. Some people, you're still going to be very nauseous afterwards for a while. But just make sure that if you are predisposed to being nauseous for any reason, that you let them know so that your team can at least try to help you in any way possible or expect it. Utilize your resources there in the nursing and doctor staff, all of your team members for your surgery and your postpartum care. 3, pain. This seems like an obvious one, okay? Everybody's like, yeah, duh, you had surgery, this is gonna hurt. But I didn't really understand how it was going to hurt. And for me, it was a shock to the system. So whenever I stood up the first time, it was like gravity hit, and I was like, whoa. And so that was a shock to me. I don't know why. Call me crazy, but I just didn't understand that was going to happen. And also with my first C-section, okay, first, this should be noted. I hate taking medication. I don't enjoy it. I will resist taking ibuprofen if at all possible. I don't have anything against it. I just don't like it. And so for me, even though multiple people that I heard that had had C-sections told me, take your pain meds, take your pain meds. When they offer them, take them. And especially the first few days. You know, after that, you can kind of back off and see where you're at. But I was not very bright, and I didn't take that information and hold on to it and follow their advice. And so about 12 hours after surgery, my complete spinal had worn off. That cocktail was wearing off that they give you. And about 4 hours after surgery, they were like, hey, do you want anything for pain? I was like, no, I'm good. And they were like, are you sure? Because we really don't want you to be behind on pain. Stay ahead of the pain, please, for your own well-being. Some people don't experience that much pain, but I would caution you to, you know, before the spinal or epidural wears off, go ahead and take that first dose that they offer you, and then kind of see how you're feeling once it wears off, and, you know, go from like once the spinal wears off. But I didn't understand what that was going to be, and that was a huge shock to me. There was so much pain, and it took several hours, and probably until I remember about the 12-hour mark. It was the middle of the night. I called my nurse in there, and I was hysterical. Like nothing would calm that pain. And so she gave me my pain meds that were ordered, and then the ibuprofen a couple hours later. And so it took a couple of doses of, like, by that second dose of medication, that I was finally like feeling like I was okay again. And then from there, I definitely, you know, stayed on track with it. But I will say that after, especially with my first, after about day 4 or 5, I was definitely feeling like I could stretch out my doses of medication, and then eventually I just needed the ibuprofen and regular Tylenol, and then, you know, it just tapered off from there. But just be aware that you're, what you're feeling while that spinal, even though they took it out, like, even though you're out of surgery, you think that's worn off, it hasn't. So just be aware of that. It can creep up on you, and take your pain medication. Walk also. That sounds counterintuitive, but if you stay on top of your medication, walking will eliminate the gas pain that can build up, and pain in your shoulders and your neck from that. And yeah, just know that getting moving, that gets you in a shower so you feel better. You can do, you know, you can go to the bathroom so you can, on your own, so you can get the catheter out. You know, lots of things change when you can get moving on your own. Or, you know, even with assistance. But the fact that you are up and out of the bed, it makes a world of difference, trust me. Make sure that you're walking. 4, I really struggled with expectations. Some with others and their opinions, but mainly myself. Like, I thought, no, I mean, by like 2 or 3 weeks postpartum, I was like itching to be able to do, you know, I felt like I should be able to do everything. No, you just had a baby. You just also had major surgery. You don't have to be up and doing everything. And if you listen to your body will tell you, hey, back off, rest, you know, take care of yourself. And you need to know ahead of time that you need to lower your expectations for what you expect yourself to get done, and communicate that with others, that, hey, I'm not going to do everything else as I normally do it. Just know that, because that was a huge shock to the system again for me, because I'm type A and I'm used to controlling things and doing things and being busy and being productive, and I couldn't. It just wiped me out, and that was a huge struggle for me that I did not see coming. So just understand that, you know, lower your expectations. Your goal is baby and yourself. And the house, yes, but it can wait. I promise you that the laundry doesn't have to be perfectly folded and put away. As long as everybody's got something clean to wear, you did your job. Y'all, as a family, you did your job. So don't, you know, unless you just absolutely have no other option, don't take that all on yourself. And again, even if you have no other option and it is all on you, as long as everyone is clean, fed, they're fine. The house doesn't have to look pretty. That is time for later, okay? There will be time for that, I promise. And the 5th thing that I experienced that I didn't expect was forgetting about myself. I didn't recognize, especially with my first C-section, I had no clue how, I mean, this goes with having a baby, period. But I didn't recognize how much of a struggle that was going to be to just take care of myself. Make sure I'm eating. Make sure I'm eating a real meal. You know, make sure I'm hydrating myself, drinking water. That's not just for breastfeeding. That's for you to heal. That's for you to feel good. That's for you to be able to think clearly. All of that, you know, you need to be well fed and hydrated, and you also need to rest. That goes back to expectations. But shower. My husband was so good about that, about, hey, she's asleep, or hey, I'll hold her. It doesn't matter. She can cry for a few minutes. You need to go get in the shower and take care of yourself and do that. I'm not saying that you have to make time to do your nails and do your hair, but also, like, I found in the hospital, that first shower was amazing. And hold on to that feeling, because it will make you feel better to get in the shower for a few minutes, clean your body, clear your mind, let the water beat down on you and kind of let that stress go. It also keeps your incision clean. I mean, there's just so many things, but make sure that you're keeping up with yourself. And if you have a partner with you, be like, hey, remind me that I need to take care of myself, you know, because it's so easy to get wrapped up in what the baby needs, or just sitting here, you know, on the couch and you're like, I don't want to move. I don't want to do this. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself. That will help your recovery go a lot better. So that's everything that I've got for y'all. That's everything I've got for y'all. I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, I'd love to have you stick around and subscribe. And so now that this video is over, head over to Alia's channel. I will link that here at the end, down in the description box for you. Jump over there, let her know I sent you. And again, if you are new from Alia's channel, hello, welcome. And I'd love to have you subscribe and stick around. And I will see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye, guys.